Hello, athletes and fans around the world. The excitement continues to build. It is Olympia week here on Primetime Muscle. Joined by some amazing guys. Real deal Chris Cormier.
That's what's up.
Tarek El-Gindi, super judge, one of the judges of this upcoming Olympia. And today on this very special edition, we are joined by our official Primetime Muscle sponsor from Global Formulas, Jacob Frank. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
We're all doing that. We're doing that.
Doing the fist bump.
We are indeed. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good. How was you were here last year, Olympia week as well. It's become a tradition.
It's a great tradition, and I'm honored to be here.
Well, last year you had a ton of athletes from Global Formula in the Olympia. What are we looking at this year?
We've got 8 Olympians this year.
8?
So looking to have another great showing, as always.
You want to name a couple names? Drop.
Well, I mean, we've got Amy Velasquez, who is
on fire.
On fire.
On fire. Pittsburgh Pro champion, New York Pro champion. And man, a lot of people believe, you know, we found out a couple months ago Jennifer Dory was not going to do the Olympia. A lot of people believe that Amy Lynn Delgado Velasquez, right?
Velasquez, yes.
She could be one of the last women standing or the last woman standing. She's been with Global for a while, right?
She has been with us for about 2.5 years now, when she was just beginning her pro journey. And, you know, we create winners. Oh. She's got the whole package, and
did you
put it all together.
Did you look to sponsor her, or did she approach the
company?
No,
this is an interesting thing, Chris.
Let's go.
They don't reach out to athletes.
Nope.
Oh.
Athletes come to them and apply for the privilege of being a Global Formula sponsored athlete.
Yeah, I met her and her husband. I didn't even know who they were, you know, and one thing led to another. She was not a big supplement user at the time, and then she started, didn't have much luck with supplements, and then started ours, and it all started with the BioPro Zero, which she said she was never able to take protein. That's the freak.
That's
by
the
the
super
way.
freak OMG right there,
Let's stay
bro.
with the program.
So this is one of.
Trust me, I know these.
This is. Sorry to interrupt here, but this is one of my favorite, right, guys? The Pro Zero, because I have the vanilla one and it tastes great. But how often do you get a protein that has 0 sugar, right?
0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 fat, 0 cholesterol.
I mean, how often do you get? And this is where Global Formula stars in the market and beats a lot of the competitors, is that they're able to do stuff. Jacob is able to create formulations that taste great, but most of it is very effective. You are getting no sugar, no fat, pure protein right here with this supplement.
So you can go all the way up to competition using your protein.
Our athletes will take almost all of our stuff all the way up to competition. Literally, some of our products even the same day of competition. I know a lot of athletes cut things out, but not enough.
When is the Super Freak 2 Freak A?
For two.
What is the Super Freak 2 Freak A at the end?
Oh, well, I mean, that's some people can't handle it when they're starting to drop their nutrients, and it does hit a little harder.
2 Freak A.
So she took this and she said, wow, this is not affecting me like a lot of other proteins do. So that's kind of how she initially said, you know, like a lot of other people do, what else do they have? And then now she uses a lot of the line.
So Pro Zero is, you know, possibly one of the best proteins in the business. You have vanilla, chocolate, what else?
Cookies and cream and chocolate peanut butter.
Okay.
Now let's talk, because your formulations, you take a different approach with some things, like creatine.
It's chelated creatine. Chelated creatine. It's a molecularly bonded creatine. Has no water molecules attached to it, so you're going to get no water retention. There's no conversion process, so 100% utilization. The thing with our line is that once people are on it, they love it, and they end up using the entire line. It's getting them on the line, because there's so much science involved in the line. Each particular product has a slew of ingredients that are designed to elicit a certain effect in the body, but they have to have a minimum dosage as well. So all of that combined, it's hard for somebody behind the counter to say, well, this, they're just not that versed in it. But once they get on it, it's like, wow, this stuff is really working.
Last time you were here is when I got my education.
You did.
And I said, you know, I should try some of that. And like any guy, you went, hey, come here, kid. I got a couple samples for you. Eat this. And was hooked right off the bat. The stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Incredibly powerful. The Super Freak OMG, start with half.
Yeah.
Start with half and work up to a full. The creatine, I've got a lot of creatines that bother me, and the proteins definitely, you know, I've got a little lactose intolerance. Didn't have that with the
I've
Pro Zero.
never met anyone that's 100% lactose intolerance that hasn't been able to take
Now,
that product.
I have a question for you. I go all over the world, and a lot of people show me proteins, and the first thing I do is, okay, how much sugar in this, right? Because if you tell me there's 30 grams of protein, but I'm gonna get 15 grams of sugar, I just don't like your protein. It's not good for me. What's your competitive advantage? Because people are looking at the ingredients, right? They go, okay, this guy did this with this and this. How can you hide your competitive advantage?
I don't need to. And the reason why is back in the day, I used to formulate for other companies. And my dream formulas would never come to fruition because they were just too expensive to manufacture. You know, the companies would say, well, we have this for marketing and production and all these other variables. So when I created Global Formulas, my concept from the very beginning was create my dream formula, then price it out. And whatever it ends up being is what ends up being. You know, whatever the serving size is, that's what it is. However many capsules you need to take to get that serving size, if it's a capsule,
genius.
that's what it is. If you don't like it, go to somebody else. But if you want results and you're willing to, you know, take a little bit extra or do whatever, the actual serving size, you are going to get results. You know, Pro Zero is I always hear people talk about it, and what really sets it apart, besides the cross-flow microfiltration, whey isolate, cleanest protein you can get, most absorbable, all that stuff, is we actually add a full serving of our BioRepair, which is our chelated glutamine.
Yes.
That we sell as a separate product. Well, we put an entire serving of that in each scoop of the Pro Zero. So when people take it, they're getting the recovery is like, it's amazing. They're going, why is this? And they're not bothering to notice the little thing on here is full serving of BioRepair. They don't even know what BioRepair is. They just know the stuff works. But those are the things that I do that most people don't even notice. But I notice.
So Olympia Week is exciting for all of us. But you're there, you got a massive booth, bunch of your athletes, and that's a big thing for the fans that want to be there, experience the products, have an opportunity to buy the products, taste the products, but they want to meet their idols and the people that they're big fans of. Who can we look forward to in the booth?
Well, I mean, Amy will be at the booth. This year we'll be right in front, across from prejudging. So
Nice.
all of our athletes that are competing will be at the booth right after prejudging, and they'll be able to come and meet them there. Amy,
Jessica Wilson,
Master Olympia
champion.
Masters Olympia champ, Corey Morris and Emmanuel Hunter, each finishing 4th and 6th respectively.
In last year's Olympia.
Last year's Olympia, and they are.
Emmanuel was happy and not happy about being 4th.
You know, anytime you can get into the top 10, you're happy. Anytime you can get into the top 5, you're ecstatic. But when you get into that top 5, you're like, well, I'm this close. So now that brings out the eye of the tiger.
You were looking at Chris the whole time you said that.
That's
Well,
right. I'm always in the top 6. Always in the top 4.
Notice he didn't say top 5.
But when he was in the top 5,
In a stacked
I've
class,
been there,
right,
I've
buddy?
been
In
there.
a stacked class.
I've been there 55 pose downs. That's right.
so you got all those great athletes that people can come and meet. And what does the Olympia, when you think of your involvement in the Olympia and sponsoring and having a booth, just being there, because we sat next to each other last year, we were both eating during prejudge. I love this sport, just throwing down the food.
You know, it's very humbling because we don't have enough time in an episode or 10 episodes to talk about my journey through the fitness industry. But it's humbling that I get to sit here next to you guys. I've got some of the top athletes in the world that are part of my team. And I've worked my behind off to get to this point. And this point is nowhere near where we're going to be in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And it's a journey. So being at the Olympia, being part of it, being right up front, all of that stuff, you know, it's
And how closely do you work with your athletes?
very closely. You know, my athletes are family. You know,
explain some of that for the
and that
people
is-
who don't know.
Our athletes come to us, and number one, if they are not using the product, believe in the product, believe in what we're doing, you know, it's not a match. You know, they have to understand what we're trying to do is so different than anybody else in the industry. You know, I'll give up the mass market. I want that niche. I want to be, when somebody talks about global formulas, or if they say, all kidding aside, which is the best product in the industry? So that is, that's me in a nutshell, you know. So that separates us. Our athletes, if they believe in that and they've gotten the results they want, then they're part of the team.
You know, it's funny because I've talked to some of the competitors of Jacob, and their approach is like, well, his products are great, but they're more expensive, right? That's them saying, hey, I kind of recognize his products are great, but you're going to have to pay more.
And the watch that he's wearing today.
What watch is that? What watch is
Oh,
that?
this is a U-boat.
U-boat, yeah,
Yeah.
black and yellow, very nice. Very
Well,
nice.
you know,
Chris got his fake Cartier right there.
That's right, that's right. And then the outfit. I mean, look at the black on the gray. You always come here
I
dressed
just
to the
decided to be a
nines.
little different this
No,
time.
a little plain. And I like the shoes. Why don't you kick the shoes up there?
No, I ain't kicking no shoes.
I'm always putting them up on the table.
Now, I have a
I ain't
question.
kicking no shoes.
I have a question for you. When you talk to me about men's physique, you go, Tarek, well, his waist is not that small, this and that. And, you talk about the bikini, you go, Tarek, she doesn't have the genetics for this and that. And a lot of times, I'm highly impressed by how much you know about the sport. Did you become a fan of bodybuilding because of supplements? Or were you already a fan of bodybuilding and then you created supplements?
I mean, like anybody else, I was a workout enthusiast, and my mind goes a mile a minute. When I got into the nutrition industry, it was originally with retail stores, and then I got out of that and started manufacturing. But I just think it's like anything else. It's like you become street smart. I've been to so many shows, talked to so many judges, heard so much feedback that it's an accumulation of knowledge. So did I go to school to get a master's in bodybuilding? No, but I've been to show after show after show and have accumulated all this knowledge. And yeah, I know when I see someone if they're going to go far, as long as they're putting in the effort. You can look at somebody that doesn't have the genetics, but they've got the fire inside to be their best. They're typically going to be fighting for 4th and 5th. If you've got somebody with the genetics who doesn't have that fire inside them, once again, they're going to be fighting for 4th and 5th. Now put the two together, that's where the magic happens. So I can see where some people, they have a core that's just not what they can improve upon to what the judges are going to want to see to give them that first place. Like, it's maybe in a regional show here and there, but at the Olympia level, no way.
And then you're finding those that got the genetic potential, got everything, all the bells and whistles with the physique, but don't have the heart to push forward and
Yeah, that's
become
what I
all
just
that.
said, Chris.
Become all of that. That's right.
Thanks for listening.
That's right.
So it is always an honor. We are so grateful to have you as the sponsor of Primetime Muscle. Folks, you got to come by, stop by the booth, meet the stars, the athletes in the booth. Try the stuff.
Is there a giveaway? I mean, if you are watching this, you're watching this and you want to get a Pro Zero, what do I have to do, Jacob Frank, if I'm going to be at the expo? There's thousands and thousands of young kids. They're at the expo. They're going to visit your booth. Is there a giveaway to one of the kids to go to your booth? Do you have to tag us or?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. We're going to do something, and we'll put it on our Instagram where they can get on, tag a couple people, enter, and if they come to the Olympia, we will have their name in a thing and give away a nice package for them.
Awesome.
Okay, all right.
And they may get sponsored. Who knows?
Thank you again for coming in today.
Oh, no.
And thank you for being part of the show and part of the Olympia. We're going to be back right after this. We're talking about Hunter Labrada. Is it his time? And if it isn't, what is it? Hunter, let's go. right after this. And we're back, and one of the legacy athletes in the sport. There's only a couple. There is Sergio Oliva Jr.,
The son of the father.
the son of the father, and Hunter Labrada, who has continued to be a rising star over the last few years. But Tarek, we've got an interesting graphic back there with Hunter. It's now or never.
Tim Wilkins, here's the bottom line. A few weeks ago, he won the show in Italy, right? But that lineup was not a strong lineup.
Lackluster, if you will.
I agree with you. A lot of people said, well, here's Hunter going to Italy. The lineup came out, and we didn't see a lot of guys that have been to the Olympia. I believe the only guy that has been to the Olympia was Andrea Presti.
And Nathan Diasha in that as well?
No, Nathan wasn't. And then Hunter was able to prevail and win the show.
Thought he would.
So the key question for Hunter is this. Are you part of the Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker new generation? Are you part of them or not? Okay, we've had a few Olympias. He placed fourth one time, and then I think he placed sixth, seventh. You know, he lost to Andrew Jack in Texas last year, wins this show in Italy, which was not a heavy lineup. Is he part of the Derek Nick Walker top tier of bodybuilders, or is he on the second tier, kind of moving up? We don't know where Rafael Brandão with Hunter Labrada, you got Akeem Williams, you got some other guys. Where is Hunter going to be at this Olympia? And this is going to be defining, because if he places seventh, we can say, hey, he's a great bodybuilder, no doubt, but he's not in the ballpark of Derek and Nick Walker, who have won, the Olympia, the Arnold. And so it is now or never for us to find out who Hunter is.
Well, coming off a fresh win out of Italy, I mean, you got to feel like, this is the time to shine. This is the time to shine. He's been at his best. He's made some great gains this offseason. It's been the biggest he's ever been. I didn't think he would ever get to the size he's at. And then, he started sharpening up for that Italy show. Because when I went to the Lee Labrada Classic out there, and,
I know. You were out there with Wendy Ford and Dean Ford.
That's right.
Yep.
The Fords.
The Fords.
And so, yeah. So being there, he said, "Oh yeah, Chris, I'm gonna drop the hammer now and start sharpening it up." So he did the guest posing. Looked great there, but then he really started hammering into that, chiseling out those cuts. So, I mean, I think he feels like he's in the same lineup as those guys, the same call out as the top guys. He placed ahead of Nick Walker in the Olympia a few years back. I think that he feels like he belongs there. He puts in the work. He displays all of his work, everything he's going through, all his training logs, all his diet, all his everything. He working hard with Ben Chow, and got a couple other trainers that he trains with on a regular basis, and he's at the business of bodybuilding on a daily basis, and he shows that. And I feel like this is going to be the year where he can, at least jockey in between those guys with the Jacks and the everybody else that's going to be in that top six.
So I got to see Chris at Prejudge that day because I've been emceeing the Lee Labrada Classic for quite a few years, and Lee has Hunter guest pose almost every year. It was only one year I can remember. I think they had Logan Franklin, and knowing how far out that show is from the Olympia as to how tight he is going into each year is a big precursor. He was 15 pounds up and a lot tighter already because he was 3 weeks out from Milan. But here's the thing. Remember a couple years ago, he had that nonsense about you basically grinding and drinking every meal. He wasn't chewing. And I think, and he and I talked about that for a few minutes, I think just changing the diet to a whole food, single source, chewable menu just hardened him right up.
Oh yeah, it took effect really fast too, and you could see the difference. And I think I don't know if that's just being lazy or trying to be unique, trying to get likes or views on his social media, but it wasn't working, and you saw the effects afterwards.
Well, Hunter Labrada has the potential to be Mr. Olympia, okay? And I don't say this lightly. He has the potential to be Mr. Olympia. Because if you look at his performance in 2000, I think it was 2021 or 2022, where he placed fourth, we saw something that was very, very relevant, and he could be Mr. Olympia. He has been having disappointing placings at the Olympia since then. That's fact. He placed fourth, and since then he's not been to the top 5. So he needs to respond. He needs to respond right now. He needs to get back in that top 5 and tell all of us, hey, don't get me out of the conversation that I can be Mr. Olympia. I still have it. I believe he has it. But he needs to join the party. Placing 7th at the Olympia, placing 6th, placing 8th, you know, winning a show that doesn't have a lot of names, getting your qualification, you know. Hey, listen, I'm okay with you getting your qualification, but I would love to see Hunter maybe twice a year, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Twice a year. I'd love to see Hunter at the New York Pro.
Yes,
You know?
I think a lot of people thought that maybe he was trying to duck out of the more heavily armed shows in America and wanted to skip over there to Europe where maybe a little easier to get into the Olympia.
Well, imagine if he is at the New York Pro and he beats Nick Walker and Martin Fitzwater, right? Hey, all of a sudden, hey, Hunter is sending a message to the industry, right? So, and then Texas, he lives in Texas. Andrew Jack is there, right? Put on the heat on Andrew Jack.
All the way from Dubai.
Correct. You know?
So here's my thing, and this is the toughest thing for me. It's the toughest thing about the sport. Your best isn't just your best. How much you lift that day, it's not a weightlifting competition, it's a bodybuilding competition. Who else is going to show up? And he knows, we know, I firmly believe this is the best top 10 in 20 years. If you think we're coming out of the gate with Derek, Hottie, Andrew, Hunter, Nick, Samson Dowda, then we get into some depth, Fitzwater, Beiruz Tabani.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, your top 10 is a battle. John Jewett's going to cause some problems this year. His conditioning size and the way his meat his quads fall off the bone, there's going to be some freak factor up there in the top 10.
Here's my question to you, Tim and Chris. Martin Fitzwater, right? Why are we so impressed with Fitzwater? Not because he won the Detroit Pro, but because he put on a fight against Nick Walker at the New York Pro. You know, so I think that Hunter had an opportunity this year to maybe do one more show. There was the Spain, Portugal, you know, hey, you're going to do the Italy show. Hey, do 2 of them. You know, go against Beiruz Tabani and some of those guys. Beat them. And you have the potential to beat them. Go to the Olympia carrying some momentum. Get your body, right? You have 2 shows. Hey, I was better at this show. I tested myself.
Chris, I'm going to throw this out, and I know where your head is on this already. I look back at your era, and I look back at Ronnie was doing 4 to 6 shows as Mr. Olympia. Was out. You guys were out in it. You were doing 6, 8, 10 shows in a year. Right. Mind you, if you're already Olympia qualified, the mindset is, well, I'm only going to qualify for the Olympia. But it is so much better for the sport, so much better for the fans, and I can't help but figure it would be so much better for your body to do 1 or 2 June, July, give yourself 3 months to build and adjust, you know, May, June, whatever those pro shows are, a little earlier in the season, pull off, loosen up, let the cortisol levels go back down, and then just gun it.
Yeah, that's all about getting to know your physique, getting to know your body, not worrying about who's doing what over there, but just internally taking on different competition, different types, of, different times of the year. And if you're gonna go to, say, Australia, say, or some part in Italy or whatever, you fly over there, you got your routine down, you test out what's working for you at that time, what works for you at this time. When you look like this, were you able to push the envelope with the carbs? Were you needed to draw back a little bit with the carbs or something like that to obtain the look that you're trying to achieve? And that's one thing you get out of going up there and trying trial and error type of thing.
Is it fear of failure, Tarek? Is that why they're not getting out and potentially having a bad show while they dial in new formulas and new ways to do business?
But everything's based off of they want it. It's almost like a ratio in people's head. It's not like a ratio. No one cares about how many times it took you to look like this. It's all about getting up there. I look good here, but I could have been a little bit smaller. And then you saw some of the people like, say, Dorian Yates. He didn't have the most aesthetic physique, but when he would dial it in, he can look aesthetically at a certain weight that he didn't have at, say, 300 pounds. He'll look way better, 40 pounds lighter or whatever it is. That's just a number, but I'm just saying that would happen. And someone else did that. Oh, the guy that just won he turned pro at the North America, the super heavy. He was heavier before, but then he lost, looked like he lost 10 or 15 pounds.
I was home licking my wounds when the bodybuilders were
oh,
up,
yeah.
man. I was already.
He lost 10 or 15 pounds and won the overall title.
Yeah. So, that question for you, since you can't give us even a projected placing, you don't make predictions, you make decisions. I like that.
That have consequences.
That have consequences around the world. What do you feel about his improvements year over year?
When Hunter Labrada took fourth at the Olympia a few years ago, I said to myself, this guy could easily be the next Mr. Olympia. Since then, we've had some disappointing placings and disappointing physiques. I expect Hunter Labrada to respond this weekend at the Olympia. He needs to respond. He needs to show the world how great he is, that he's not only a prospective potential in the industry, he is a guy that can carry the mass to go against Hadi and Derek and Nick on those side poses. And he is a guy that once he hits those front shots, he has the small waist with the large clavicles and the flaring quads. I think Hunter needs to tell the world at this Olympia, hey, you need to put my name there as a potential next Mr. Olympia.
Well, the Labrada family knows I'm a fan. You will be joining us for the next segment, Tarek, but you will not be making predictions. That'll be Chris and I when we come back on Primetime Muscle. This is it. Olympia week. Chris, Tarek likes to put us on the spot, especially because he can recuse himself for this. He's a judge and cannot make predictions because it looks biased, and he is a very unbiased judge. Now, let's roll through these categories best we can. Yeah, I got homework, bro. I did my homework.
This guy got the list on
The Open. You want to pick some or you want to pick a top three, top five? What's best for you?
Three.
Top three. Ooh, that gets ugly too, bro.
I know.
We you know what? Previously, we talked top 10. We left off Tonio Burton, Akeem Williams, Brandon Curry, and William Bonac. I mean, this is a stacked lineup. But who's your top three?
I'm going to go with Derek, Hadi, and Nick.
All right.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I'm going to go Derek, Hadi, and Samson. But a Samson, Nick, if I could double that bet, I'm an old horse racing guy. If I could bet 5 on each of them to place with the 1 and 2 horse, I would do that.
You said Derek, Hadi, and Nick?
He did.
Okay. And you said what?
Derek Hottie and Samson, with Nick and Samson duking it out for third.
Both of you have Derek winning again?
Yes. 212.
Keon, Sean, and Calderon. No. Yeah, Calderon.
All right, I'm going to go Keon, Sean, and Kareth Badjo with a 1 point difference between Keon and Sean.
I forgot about Badjo.
Yep.
Badjo, I
So-
want Badjo my third.
So you're taking Angel Calderon
Badger.
out of the top three.
I
Yes.
just, sorry,
And both of you have Keon winning the Olympia.
sorry,
Yes.
Spain.
Okay.
Yep.
Badjo. Badjo's my third.
Yep. All right, classic.
Don't look at me. You go first.
Sebum, Wesley Vissers, Ramon, and Urs. But the guy that I forgot earlier on a different segment that I think is going to rocket to the top 5 or 6 is going to be Matt Grego. Matt Grego's going to rise.
You know, Matt. I told him he should go into Classic when
Yeah.
he was still in the.
Yeah, sure. Just take credit for the stuff you haven't
Ask
done.
him.
So stupid.
Call him right
Call,
now.
call Matt.
Why do we have
Call
to
him right now.
pretend that you
What-
know?
Call him right now.
Yeah, sure. It was you.
I got a horse in the race, so it's not going
Okay.
to be good for me.
So where do
But
you
I'm
put
never
your,
going to.
where do you put
I'm
your horse?
never going to vote against my horse.
All right. So
Never.
men's physique.
I said no. Men's physique.
Men's physique.
What you got there? Let me see.
I got, look at
You
that.
got Terry first.
I got Ryan Terry. And then I've got, see, I'm going on my top 5 here, but I'm going to go Ali Bilal and Aaron Banks duking it out for second. Ali's conditioning, if he can recreate his conditioning from earlier in the year, he's going to be a terror. And Diogo and Vitor are going to be up there in the top 5.
I think it's got to be just Terry Banks and Ali.
Okay.
I don't think anyone else can, because Banks improved a lot this year.
All right. Now, that move, it's going to be a stacked, massive 3-page class. Wheelchair.
King Kong.
Harold has to, he knows he had a lot going on last year. He missed his
He
conditioning.
opened up a new gym. He's supposed to have me coming out, but he didn't do it.
Karol Maluski's our defending champ, and I still put him in a battle with Gabriele Andrulli. I don't think Gabriele's done by any great stretch.
That.
All right, and then they're doing a point system for wheelchair, which I love. So we'll have a full slate of
point
athletes.
system?
You still got the point standings for those athletes that may be able to move them into the top, correct, for wheelchair?
Correct.
Yes. Nick Scott, always working it. Women's bodybuilding, sir. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Chris Cormier. Time to make enemies. Time to pick.
I got Shawshank Redemption keeping her title.
All right.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
All right.
Shawshank Redemption. And I got Yo, and then I got Jones.
You got Jones? All right. You know what? I'm going to second that one. Now, fitness gets interesting. I went back and forth on message the other day.
Ugh.
Your girl,
You know
Missy
this-
Trescott's coming back. She says her rehab is good, and she's coming back
My
to
heart
show
is
the
racing
world.
already.
Okay, I will tell you. I get him again.
Go ahead, Chris. Pick against Missy. There's the runner-up, Taylor Learmont, Missy Truscott.
I'm gonna go with Taylor getting the title this year.
Okay, so
Missy
once
second,
again,
Missy second.
once again, you did not pick Missy
And-
to win.
Okay, I love the kid, but I've got a 2-way battle between Missy and Jacqueline Baker, and Taylor Learmont lurking for her turn.
So hold on, I'm not understanding. You think Taylor's gonna win, right? Second place, you think who? Missy?
Missy.
Who's third?
I got who's got no. No. No.
And you got these over here too, Chris.
Let me see that. Let me see that.
Ariel Kadar, Jacqueline
Ariel,
Baker,
Ariel.
Shelly Mensa.
I think Ariel.
All right. Figure, Chris.
What do you got?
I've got I still have Sid Gillen, but I still think Jessica, she is so hard right now and just won that show. She can easily just loosen up her diet leading up to the Olympia.
Do you think it's looser? She
needs. Oh, she was too hard a couple weeks ago. You know, the judges judge who's there. I think she needs to soften just a touch. We've talked about this for 3 years, and then I've got from there. Oh man.
What about Lola?
Lola's going to be up there, but I've got Cherish Richardson and Rhea Gale. Natalia Sotero. I've got her up there.
Oh, some of you guys are in so much trouble.
I've got.
This is all for fun.
I've got Natalia Sotero up there.
Chris.
This is all for fun.
Chris. You get paid to be an expert and an analyst. Look in the camera and make your picks, okay? Look in the camera and make your picks.
Buddy. You're not even involved in this, so stop it.
So you got Sid?
This is going to be the year of the upset.
All right.
Another upset.
So who's winning, Chris?
Jessica's going to win it.
All right.
Sid in second.
Sid is second.
And who's in third?
Lola.
Okay.
All right. And I want to see Wendy Fortino in the top 5. Go, Wendy. All right, Chris. Bikini.
Oh, bikini.
Now, check this out here,
Oh,
gents.
bikini. Jennifer Dory is not going to be there.
Jennifer Dory's
Everyone's
out.
going down.
We have
else wants
Maureen Blanquisco's an Olympia champ. Colt Wasser's a 3-time
wants
champ.
it?
Laura Lee Chapados is a 3-time Arnold champ. Angelica Teixeira, 2-time Olympia, 4-time Arnold, and Isa Pacini Olympia champ. You have 6 Olympians.
Laura Lee's winning this one.
Okay.
Amy second.
Yep.
Third is Maureen.
Okay. I want to put Ariana Brothers is going to be up there as well. And I also, Vanya August. You got Ivy Eskandar. Man, you got such a stacked class going on here.
Tim, look in the camera and say your predictions.
Jordan Lee,
We know a
I
lot
love
of
you.
people are going to be there. Okay. So-and-so is going to be there. And so-and-so is going to
I'll
be
be there.
there.
I'll be there.
Okay.
It's only for fun.
We want to know, who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to take second and third?
It's going to be a battle between Laura Lee and Amy Delgado.
No, don't tell me a battle. Don't tell me a battle. Look at the center camera. Center camera over here.
So the guy that literally runs a thing called the Olympia Battle won't let
Okay.
me have a battle.
Okay,
Is
look
that
at
what
the
we're talking
camera
about? All right.
and say, who's winning the Olympia bikini?
Let me make sure I got my stats right. Hang on. 3-time Bikini International champ Laura Lee Chapados, and followed by Amy Delgado.
And who's third?
Ooh, that's a good one. Maureen, Jay Brannon.
Okay. It's your pick.
Yep.
It's your pick.
Upset.
I
City.
must say, you guys, I'm proud of you guys for looking at the camera and making your statements. And, you know, one of the things that we judges do, we deal with the consequences of our decisions, right?
Yep.
And I'll make sure you guys deal with the consequences of your predictions.
But I'm also putting Ariana Brothers,
until after
and
the show.
Raywana Harley.
After the show, though, right?
Raywana Harley way up there.
After the show.
Yeah,
Yep.
All
All right.
You're putting everybody up there.
I am.
After the show.
So, Jordan Lee.
And don't
I'm
be
just throwing
trying to pick-
out my favorite names. Women's physique.
No, be careful. That one is not. Is
Now,
not
this is a loaded gun
prediction.
right here.
This one is
I gotta go to the bathroom. I go to
Okay.
the bathroom.
I actually have to
I
recuse
be
myself from
excused
this
right
one. I have to recuse myself from this one. Yeah, this is going to be a great battle, Chris.
Yep. They're
She's
good.
like one of my kids.
They're so good. They're
All
all
right.
so good.
Wellness, and I think we're out of the woods, Chris. Wellness.
Wellness.
You know, of course, we got Franciele Matos and Isabella Nunez duking it out. You know what? One of the ones I'm going to say makes a big climb this year. Two of them. Marissa Andrews and Tiffany Samrazi out of
Tiffany's
Tampa.
gonna be in. Tiffany's in the top 3.
Okay.
Tiffany's in the top 3, and
Wow. You know, you look back at this list, and I just guess I didn't spend enough time. What a powerhouse list.
I know.
Franciele Matos, Nunez, Alcantara, Gisele Machado,
Julius Maximus.
Tiffany Razi. Now, next, Leonardo Chubo, Marissa Andrews, Natasha Piet, and keep going here. What else? Sonny Andrews. What's up, Doc? And
Lopez.
Cassandra Gillis. This is an insane list of a top 10 right there, Tarek. Just tell us how you feel and who your favorites are. Like, share, subscribe, and more than anything, do not miss a minute of the action at
ready to
this
go.
Olympia. Go ahead, Chris.
I gotta get
Run,
out of here.
Forrest.
I'm out.
OlympiaProductions.com is where you're going to get this pay-per-view. He's really leaving. Bye, Chris. For Chris Cormier, the real fast deal, the one and only, the man that'll be behind the judges' table.
Very proud to be here. It's a great honor to judge the Olympia. Congratulations to all competitors. I want you to go to OlympiaProductions.com and get your pay-per-view right now.
Tarek Elgindy, I'm Tim Wilkins. We greatly appreciate you being with us on Primetime Muscle. We'll see you next time.